Communication skills. Yes, this is a, maker or a breaker. Trust me, if you are really good technically, but you are poor in communication skills, they will not take you. They will rather take an average guy or a okay person for technically speaking, but he's very good in communication skills, because technical knowledge can be built, can be improved by practicing, by experience, by reading. But communication skills is something which cannot be improved so fast like technical knowledge. It needs time, and it's years and years of conditioning. What you have gone through from your childhood, all that comes into play when it comes to communication skills. And that's why nobody will teach you that. You have to pick it up. You have to be aware of what has to be done. And that's why these do's and don'ts are a must for an interview. So let's go through them. Again, let me make it slightly bigger. All right. For an in-person interview, you greet the interviewer with a firm handshake and do an eye contact. Always have a good eye contact and have a firm handshake and appear confident, right? And this will happen if you have had a good night's sleep the previous night. That's why it was very important. So you are fresh and you have a very positive aura around you, and you have a firm handshake and you speak to the person with a good eye contact. If it's a remote, if it's a teleconferencing or a video conferencing interview, wish everyone good morning or good evening or whatever is the time of the day. And if you know their names, wish them by their name. That gives a big impact, guys. Because if you address them personally, they feel that you are giving them importance. You have taken the effort to know their names, and then you are wishing them individually. That gives them importance. So that is very good. But if you don't know their name, it's perfectly fine. You can just say good morning everyone, or good morning all, or good evening all, whatever is the time. So that's fine, perfectly fine. But if you can, take that extra effort to say, if there are 3 people or 4 people, you have to say good morning 4 times, but that's okay. At least you are taking that effort and saying good morning Sam, good morning Rebecca, good morning Whitney. So they will feel special. They will feel that, okay, at least this guy is taking that effort and naming us and wishing us. So that goes along. Practice the common interview questions, both behavioral and technical. So don't go unprepared. Anticipate the questions and then practice. Practice, by practice I mean 2 types of practice. Either you can sit in front of a mirror and practice answering your questions. Usually we don't do that. But the second thing is, get a colleague or a friend or someone from your previous company or current company to take a mock interview, right? So I always do that. I have one of my friends who is in the same technical space, technology space. So I ask him, buddy, I'm preparing for an interview. Can you take a mock interview? And I don't have to tell him what questions to ask, because he is also a BW and SAC and HANA consultant. So he knows what questions needs to be asked. So he asked those questions on a friendly telephone. We set up a time on a weekend, half an hour or 1 hour. And then, he asked those questions or she asked those questions. And then I prepare a mock interview like that. Mock interview will give you a lot of confidence, and it will also tell you that where you haven't prepared well, you have to prepare well. So do that. Pace yourself. Don't go too fast or too slow. Don't drag your answers, but at the same time, don't speak so fast that they can't understand what you are trying to convey. As a thumb rule, keep it under 2 minutes. Every answer, every response you provide has to be under 2 minutes. Okay, maximum. Minimum can be, 10 seconds to 30 seconds, but maximum should be 2 minutes. Because if it goes beyond 2 minutes, research has shown that beyond 2 minutes, the interviewer starts losing interest in your answer. So try it. Keep that as a thumb rule. Body language, eye contact, I already discussed. Always sit straight, don't slouch. Have a good attire. That is very important. A business casual. At the end, I will show you what I am wearing today. Okay. I didn't take this workshop lightly. I dressed properly in a business casual, and I'll show you how a business casual looks like at the end of this workshop. So I have come prepared, and an interviewer will also expect you to come prepared. Always maintain eye contact. Yeah, one more important thing is, when it's a teleconferencing, eye contact will happen when you will look at the camera, not your monitor. This is a very, very subtle but important difference, guys. Many of us, we answer by looking at the monitor. Why we look at the monitor? Because the people who are the interviewer, assuming they have also switched on their video, you can see them by looking at the monitor. So when they're asking questions, look at the monitor, because you need to look at them and understand the question. But when you are answering, look at the camera, not at the monitor. Why? Because then you are actually doing eye contact in a video conferencing by looking at the camera. Because if you look at the monitor and answer, you're not looking into their eyes, and their eyes are basically the camera for a video conference. So thumb rule, when listening to them, look at the monitor. When answering their questions, look at the camera. Next, always have a gentle and subtle smile on your face. Okay, nobody likes a grumpy face. If you might have had a fight with your wife or with someone just before the interview, but still you have to put on a subtle smile. You don't have to laugh, you don't have to have a big smile. You have to have a subtle and gentle smile on your face. Even when you are listening to the question, you should have a pleasant face. Okay, so keep yourself in interviewer shoes. If somebody is grumpy and they are just listening to the question with a grumpy face, then the interviewer will lose interest. So have a pleasant and a subtle, gentle smile on your face. Always ask question if it is not clear to you. Sometimes it happens that an interviewer asks the question, we don't understand it at the very first go. Please don't hesitate to clarify the question, because if you don't understand, if you answer with assumptions in your mind, then you can end up giving a wrong answer. So please ask the question. Can you please repeat the question? I didn't get that. Politely you can ask that, and people will respond. But don't overdo that. Don't repeat this for same question. Then the interviewer will think that okay, he is just buying time to think answers in his head. So don't do that. We think we are smart in overdoing that, but interviewers are smarter than us. So yes, genuinely, if you didn't understand the question, ask and clarify, but don't overdo it. So these are some do's. Now let's see some don'ts. Don't use excessive jargon. I know we are living in the world of AI, machine learning, Python, and a lot of other new stuff. But don't throw those jargons just to impress the interviewer. You think that you are impressing them, but you are not. If they catch you with one jargon you have just thrown for a little bit of a show off, they will take that and dig deeper. Okay. Oh, you talk about AI. Let's see. In AI, have you worked on generative AI? Okay. In generative AI, have you worked on LLM? Tell me about LLMs. Then you will be in trouble. Do not throw jargons around if you don't know in detail or in depth about them. Okay. Keep it simple. Keep it very honest, and say what you know about. Don't throw words which you don't know about. Okay. Let the interviewer complete the question. Don't interrupt them. Many of us, we have a tendency that they are asking the question and you think you got the question right and you start answering them. Don't do that. Even if you know that even before they complete the question, you might know what they are actually asking about. But still, have some patience. Let the person complete that. Don't interrupt them. And once it is done, then you answer. And sometimes, if you really like the question, it's okay to compliment them, saying that, oh, that's a great question. Just like how I did when Azhar asked me about the gap, how to handle gap. That was indeed a great question. So you have to compliment. So don't hesitate to compliment the question to be a good question or a great question. Don't squirm. Please, this is one of the biggest problems with interviewees who are appearing for the interview. Squirm means wriggle or twist your body from side to side. Like if you are nervous, sometimes you fiddle with your hands, your fingers, your nails. You keep touching your shoulders or hands or hair. So don't do that. That's why I asked you to practice in front of a mirror or a mock interview. These are the things you will refine during those mock interviews, during that practice. If you have a tendency to get nervous before the interview and you start, fiddling around with your body, with, some habits, so the practice will actually help you cut that down and be calm and gentle and focused in the interview. So don't squirm. Refrain from using slangs. I did this, So all those fillers, using a lot of time, don't do that. That is actually not professional and that can put off an interviewer. Don't ask personal questions. So sometimes I have seen people that when they greet, hello Sam, good morning. So how has been your day? How are your kids doing? What are you doing this weekend? Do you play golf? So all those are personal questions. And if you don't know the person, if you are speaking to them for the first time, don't get personal. You might think that you are being polite and asking about their personal life and they will appreciate that. They will not appreciate it. If you don't know them from before, then they will not appreciate it. So have you had morning coffee today? Have you had breakfast today? A lot of people, they do ask and they think that it's okay. They are actually being generous and kind by asking that, but actually it's counterintuitive. It fires back, because now you're getting into their personal space and they might not appreciate it. Very few people will appreciate it. Majority of them will be uncomfortable with those questions if you don't know them. If you know them, then it's fine. You can ask those questions. So don't get personal. Don't ramble. Again, long answers. Rambling means you are just speaking about a topic for more than 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they're just waiting and listening to you, and you're not giving them enough chance to ask questions. So don't ramble. Keep it short, keep it succinct, and within 2 minutes should be your thumbnail. Don't answer in one word, yes or no. Sometimes they ask, oh, have you handled a complex scenario? Yes, I have. And then you're quiet. Don't do that. Support your answer with an example. Always take examples. Be prepared with examples, like the toughest challenge you had technically in SAC, the toughest challenge you had in BW for HANA, a technical challenge you overcome in native HANA. Keep those scenarios handy because that's going to be their focus. These days, interviewers, they do not ask direct questions. They ask scenario-based questions. So they will say, in this scenario, how would you approach this? Or have you handled a complex scenario? Tell me about a time when you were stuck in a technical challenge and how you overcame that. So those kind of scenarios, think beforehand and then be prepared. So these are some do's and don'ts for communication skills, which are very, very important. Any questions before we go into the actual technical questions? Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions.
We haven't worked in SSC, right? So where can we get those toughest real-time scenarios?
Okay, that's a good question. So you have not worked in SSC. So don't say that you have actual project experience in SSC. If you have not worked in SSC, be honest and just say that I have worked on a POC. I just told you, right? If you want to fill a gap, that also applies here. If you have not worked in SSC, do hands-on on trial server. It won't take much time. Trial server just takes 15 minutes to register, and 1 or 2 days you can practice. And tell them that I have worked on a POC. Don't tell them that I have worked on an actual project. The moment you start telling them on an actual project experience, they will start asking what is the toughest scenario. But if you tell them that I have not worked on an actual project, I just have hands-on experience, I took the initiative, I did a small POC, and in that POC I created a basic story where I created a basic model. That model was loaded from a flat file, and that flat file data I prepared myself from the the learning journeys I followed, and then I did a basic story. If you tell them that, they're not going to ask you toughest challenge because they know that you have not worked. But at the same time, you are not telling them, no, I have not worked in SSE. That would have been a mistake. So even if you have not worked in SSE or native HANA or planning side in SSE, don't tell them that I have not worked. Many people do this mistake. They think that they are being honest and upfront, and they will just say that they have not worked. Yes, honesty is good, and I appreciate that you are telling them you have not worked, but then don't expect you to be selected. So instead of that, what I do, when I was new to SSE and I was applying for SSE jobs, what I used to say is I have a POC experience, and I put POC specifically in my resume. I never said I don't mention any project for SSE. And what are those points for POC? Your next question is then what should I put as a point in POC? So for that, the learning journey is going to help you. Go through the SSE learning journey. You will see that what is a basic model, what are public dimensions, private dimensions, what are the different measures, what is an account-based model versus a new model. Now they have launched new model. So all those things you will get in the learning journey, and then you can mention that in the POC. So be smart. Yes, even if you have not worked, you can put a POC there. And then you can avoid those questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dipanshu.
Sure. Any more
I have one question. Yeah.
Yes, Priyanka. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have basically two parts of the question. So first is, if I don't know an answer to a question, how should I say? Directly, should I say, no, I don't know the answer, or how? So this is the first part of the question. And the second part is, suppose I don't know an answer. So some interviewers, what I have seen in my experience, that they are very welcoming. They very politely answer to your question. But certain interviewers doesn't like that. So if you say that, what is the answer, then they say research by yourself. So what should be the right approach?
Okay. So let me reiterate what you asked so that at least I make sure I understood the question. So what you are asking is, if there is a question which you don't know answer for, or if you don't have the answer for that, how should you respond to that? Should you blindly say, sorry, I have not worked, I don't know the answer for that? And should you ask them, can you tell me what would be the answer for this? Is that your question, right, Priyanka?
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So this is how I would answer. Yes, and there is going to be a case where there won't be any answer because you have not worked in that area. So for example, if somebody asks me, have you worked on HANA 2.0 with Access Advanced Web IDE? No, I have not. So what I will say is that no, I have not worked on the Web IDE part on the HANA side, but I have worked on the calculation views on the HANA Studio side. So if given a chance, I can very easily pick it up. So that I don't have a project experience, I don't have a real-time experience, yes, but I do have this experience which is connected to that, and it's just a ramp up of the knowledge. I can very well pick that up within no time. That's how I would answer. And I will not go back and ask that what is the correct answer for that, or can you please tell me what is the actual answer for that? No, don't ask that. That's not your job to ask them the correct answer. You should know, and if you don't know, just tell them that no, I have not worked on it, but I have worked on this, which might be connected. So just make sure you catch those points, and then tell them that I can very easily ramp up on that. That's not a big deal.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dipanshu.
Sure. Tanveer has a hand raised. Tanveer, go ahead.
Yeah, Dipanshu, just an extension to your answer. Actually, I had a similar situation. I gave exactly the answer that you just mentioned, and with that I just added one more point, which was genuine answer, that in my previous assignment I had a similar situation. That was something new. I took it up, and then I also trained my for example, my teammate on that. Yeah. So that was actually a welcome answer.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes,
Yeah.
that's actually a better answer than me. So yes, you can say that. Probably it's an addition to my answer. So when you are saying that, yes, I can ramp up my knowledge within no time. And let me give an example for that. In my previous company, I didn't know flow graphs in native HANA, but there was a requirement to use flow graphs. So I quickly learned about flow graph, did that in the sandbox environment, and gained enough competence and experience, and now I'm proficient in flow graphs. Yes, that's a brilliant addition to the answer.
Yes. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Dipansh.
Thank you.